the Cardi B case was supposed to start at noon East Coast, which would be 9 in the morning in LA. For some reason, I looked at Law and Crime. Law and Crime is late. Let me check Court TV. I think Court TV is late too. See what Court TV has. And Court TV. See if they're on. Okay, and Court TV's also is late. So I guess the court is late. Um, since I got some time, I want to talk about a couple of things. Um, Baby Emmanuel, Baby Emmanuel, Baby Emmanuel Harold. The parents did have a hearing today, and I think that they will indeed be charged with the red room charge. Not one of them, both of them is projected to with the be charged with red room and possibly capital red room, along with abuse of a child. Now, in all honesty, they really don't need the child abuse charge, but if they get the red room charge, they're looking at life in prison based on that alone. And these two both deserve life in prison. If you're familiar with the Emmanuel Harold case, which I'm going to try to come back later today, if not later today, early tomorrow morning with updates on the Emmanuel Harold case. Um, once this Cardi B, once this stream here gets started, we'll go to the Cardi B case. There's also the Donna Adelson case that is out and around too. That's going on in Florida. Believe they are currently on day 3. Currently they are in a lunch break. Um, I myself may or may not dive into that a little bit. Cause the main two things I'm focused on right now is what happened to Baby Emmanuel and this Cardi B case are the two things that I'm focused on. Um, as you know, Cardi B was accused of assaulting the security guard, and in my personal opinion, the whole Cardi B case is a money grab. But here's the thing: if it wasn't for Cardi B's temper, this woman would have no need for a money grab. With that being said, let me see if they got clips from yesterday. Concerning Cardi B on Court TV. Okay, they ain't got nothing here on Court TV. Let me go to Law and Crime. One second, y'all. That they have clips of the case. Okay, let me go to Law and Crime Trials. Okay, they do have a couple clips here. I'm gonna play this clip, one of these clips, until they get started.
So what happens if you're ordered to take a drug test, or you take a drug test voluntarily, and you test positive? The incident, after the incident happened, were you intending to sue? Is that why you didn't? I think photograph. photographs of cuts to your face or any
Lord,
injuries
I need some
sustained
ice
after
water.
you saw
I'll
the
be right back, y'all.
video? Why did you not take photographs of the scar after the incident?
I was upset. I had a lot going on.
And you were not intending to sue, is that correct? Were you intending to sue Cardi B at that moment when the incident occurred?
No, I was not. I chose a different career. I work in social services. I work with low-income families to access resources.
Did Ms. Cardi B after this incident post different things about you and her parents?
She did
And how many different incidents?
probably about two.
Did you do the same thing back to her?
Yeah.
After the incident, did you seek medical treatment from a psychologist, Nicole McKenzie?
Yes.
2 months after the incident.
Correct.
What did Dr. McKenzie do for you?
She provided therapy, counseling therapy.
Was it helpful?
I think it was at the time.
Before
I'm back.
He did.
Why did he ask you to wait when you do you know why? He
And
asked you to
again,
wait
this
for
is from yesterday.
course he had
He said he just wanted to treat it prematurely and bring it come back.
Did the scar become a kilo?
It is fine, yes.
Do you know if it's called a kilo or not?
I'm not sure what it's on he was.
Before the incident on February 24th, did you have any scars to your left cheek?
Never.
Do you have any scars anywhere?
Never.
At some point, do you remember the pandemic in April of 2020?
I do.
You remember that there was a period of time where elective medical treatment was not allowed?
Yes.
What about the cost of the treatment? Could you afford to pay $15,000-$20,000 to get plastic surgery for your face?
No.
Did Dr. Mulligan agree to treat you on a lean basis?
He did.
And when you got medical treatment on a lean basis, is it your understanding that regardless of the outcome of the case, you still owe Dr. Mulligan the fees for the treatment that he did? Is that your understanding?
Yes.
Did you also see the pain management doctor for one visit?
He did.
Did you also treat with different psychologists, including Alex Avila and other psychologists on October 8th, 22 through July 2nd of 23? Objection. It's a violation of order.
Again, this is from day one.
Did
Day
you
two has not happened yet.
seek treatment from psychologists, including Alex Avila and other psychologists from October 8th, 22 through July 2nd of 23? Same objection.
Correct. Yes.
And for that psychological treatment, his office agreed to treat you on a week basis.
He did. Yes.
For Nicole McKenzie, did you, with the medical bills totaling $5,087 for medical treatment that you received related to this incident? Objection. Suspended. Is it your understanding that your total medical bills related to this incident are $36,000? Did you receive a medical bill at your home? Did some of the medical providers send you bills to your home?
I'm sure it is.
Did some of the medical providers that I mentioned advise you of the amounts that they were charging you for their medical treatment?
Yes.
Was the medical treatment that you received from these medical providers beneficial to you?
It was.
Do you still suffer from psychological issues related to this incident? Objection.
I do. Yes.
Justice sustained it.
I don't.
How often, since this incident of February 24th of 2018, how often do you see your grandmother Diane?
Once a month.
Where does she live?
That's a pointless question.
Where does your grandmother live?
Las Vegas.
Why are they asking about the
Do you remember
woman's
visiting your grandmother in
grandmama?
Las Vegas?
Yes.
And for what reason did you visit Las Vegas to visit your grandmother?
Okay, about her visiting Las Vegas. Okay.
Do you take any medication or drugs?
No.
Do you drink alcohol regularly?
No.
Can you tell us a little bit about what your expectations are when you work security at that day on February 24th of 20?
Yes. What were my needs?
Expectation from visitors or guests who are coming to that building on that day? When you work security on February 24th of 2018, did the owner hire you to do security for them?
Yes.
And why did they hire you? Objection, And after this incident, you decided to discontinue working as a security guard. We're not blaming it on the incident, but we're saying that, I want to be clear, that after this incident, you have decided that you're no longer going to work as a security guard, correct?
Yes.
And before the incident happened, did you have that intention, or did that injunction come about after the incident?
Again, this is just a recap of yesterday
I had plans of
until they eventually come on.
Did you, strike that. Did you ever want to become a police officer?
I did.
You still want to become a police officer?
No.
Why is that?
I was deeply traumatized about what happened.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the trauma that you suffered from this incident?
Yes. I deal with anxiety, deal with depression. I have post-traumatic stress. I have a scar on my face. I deal with insomnia.
Do you believe that the incident, are you single at this point?
I am.
Were you single at the time of the incident?
I'm not sure.
Do you believe that this incident has an effect on your future ability to have a partner? Objection. Let's go. Call strikes. Do you expect Cardi B to pay for your medical bill? Aside from calling you the N-word, spitting at you, taking a swing at you, cutting your face with a fingernail, is there anything else that she did on February 24th, 2018?
I mean, the whole incident was super traumatizing. She did a lot better.
Did she ever apologize for what you did?
Never.
Did you want her to apologize?
Of course.
Thank you. Thanks, Carolyn.
And here's the um, other part of yesterday's recap.
It's only my third day learning from a new electrician, and I already picked up an awesome wire stripping trick. Before, this is how I used to strip wire.
Yes, my name is Imani Ellis. Last name is Ellis. Imani, yes, Emani.
For the record, how old are you?
32.
And on the date of February 24th, 2018, what were you doing?
I was at work on duty as a security guard.
Where were you?
The address of the building was 8920 Wilshire Boulevard.
And for how long did you work as a security guard? After 2018.
For 4 years.
And what did it take to become a licensed security guard?
You have to get fingerprinted and it's sent to the state of California for approval.
And do you have any criminal record?
No.
Could you become a security guard if you have a criminal?
No.
Have you ever assaulted and battered anybody in your life?
No.
Were you using your telephone to take photographs of the defendant when you saw her exit down?
No.
So, if you just tell us in your own words, when you got to the fifth floor, you were doing your rounds, you saw Cardi B, what did you say?
I said something along the lines of, that looks like Cardi B, or wow, that's Cardi B.
Were you talking to anybody at that time?
No.
For sure.
Yes.
Were you entering the elevator?
I was, yes.
Did you actually go inside the elevator?
I did, yes.
Did Cardi B exit the elevator?
She did, yes.
Okay, and then what happened?
After she heard me say her name, she turned back around, and the first thing out of her mouth was, excuse my language, was, why the telling people that you see me? At this time, I tried to calm her down and assure her that I didn't tell anyone that I've seen her, and she was extremely upset.
And what did she tell you?
Then, excuse my language again, but she said, yes, the did, and then she put her finger in my face.
When she put her finger in your face, did she have long,
She did.
approximately how long?
Dang, this still ain't came on?
About 2 to 3 inches long.
When you
Let's see what's going on.
have seen different pictures and videos of Cardi B, you notice that she has long fingernails. You notice it goes to
Yes.
when you saw her today, did you notice that her fingernails were very short?
Yes.
Does she usually wear them that short with her?
What's going on?
Have you seen those? For how long were you a fan of Cardi B before this?
I was.
What kind of fan was it?
I enjoyed her music. I was interested in going to a concert. I didn't have any problem with her.
Did you ever notice it?
I had tickets to go to see her, but I never went after this incident.
When were you supposed to go see her?
I'm not sure of the date. It was sometime in 2018.
And you're very
lot of words. And again, excuse my language, but she was like, you, I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna get you fired. That's why you do security. That's why you do security. She was sticking her tongue out. She was flailing her arms up and down. She was jumping up and down. Body shaming me. I mean, racial slurs. Just a lot. She did. It did.
Why did you exit the elevator?
I wanted to clarify the misunderstanding. At that time, she was causing a disturbance. She was yelling and screaming, and I didn't want her to leave.
And at the security guard, when you were working there, and you were people there, and that meant calling over something.
Could you repeat the question, please? Yes. Yes. For about 4 years. Never. Not as far as I can remember, no. Not as far
And again, this is a recap of yesterday. They just got in a minute ago, and I will go to the live stream of what's going on today once I get done with this recap from yesterday.
no. She did. Yes. I did.
At some point, recently, did you go to the building? And company, from my office to take photographs, that's it. And the purpose of taking photographs or to show where these things occurred, your understanding of what that was, what you're doing, and what's important to them. 7-001. Ms. Ellis, is this the photograph that we discussed, which is the outside of the building where you work at 8920 Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills?
Yes.
Okay, 7-002. Is this a closer picture of the same building?
Correct.
And this is a six-story building in the city of Beverly Hills. It's an older building, correct?
Correct.
And then 7-003. Is that closer to the front?
Correct.
7-004. Is that the front entrance of the building where you work?
Yes.
7-005. Another photograph of the same front, closer up.
Yes.
7-006. You see that photograph? Is that the inside of the lobby of the building where you work?
Yes.
And 7-007. Was that security booth there when you worked there? Do you remember?
It was.
Did you sit behind that security booth?
I did.
And on the day of the incident, were you wearing your uniform?
Yes.
7-007 is a photograph of that booth where you sit. 7-008, was that sign there on the gate when you worked there?
Yes.
7-009, these are the elevators that guests and visitors of the building will take to get upstairs, is that correct?
Yes.
And on the day of the incident, do you remember if you took the elevator to get to the fifth floor or maybe to the stairs? Remember?
Not sure.
If I can take the rest here. 7-010, is this a photograph of the elevator which Cardi B got out of on February 24, 2018?
Yes.
And that's the elevator that tried to correct?
Yes.
It's a relatively small elevator, isn't it?
Yes.
And 7 dash 011, is that a photograph of the elevator area where the incident took place that we took recently?
Yes.
And obviously on the poster, on the day of the incident, you were there for Saturday, correct?
Yes.
Was it this way with the garbage all around there?
Not at that time.
7012, 7013, 014, 015 are photographs of the hallway leading up to the elevator, correct?
Yes.
And
We're about getting to day 2 of the Cardi B case in a second.
came back, or did everything happen right as the elevator came?
She did. She came out and looked around, and then when she heard what I said, she turned back around to approach me.
You can go to 7-021. This is where the entire incident took place, correct?
Yes.
And with that being said, that's the end of the recap for day 1. Let's get into day 2. Let's go. And shout out to Long Crime.
The jury's going to check in. Do you have a truck
We have a actually file in place.
Oh,
So I don't know if we have this, but we will submit.
okay, I want to see the testimony, and so I'm going to do the argument on this issue. We don't plan to run today, correct?
Yeah, that's fine. Because we're here now, I don't have to set.
Okay.
If it's about this. I'm clearing under further that, not going to be came out of the doctor's office with that was all the fire council witnesses. That Cardi B, that's what you stated. That's the one for response in January of 2022. That two people, the witnesses included two people who came out and said that the only person who did that was Cardi B. That was
Sorry about the ad.
It's exhibit number 9. It's the doctor's CV and rate sheet. And it is, I'm going to ask him about it, I'll make a notation. But I believe that it should be seen by the jury because it has all of his credentials. If that's the case, then I have to go through 22 pages of CV at least 2 hours. I can't do it in 1 hour unless he's going to do it.
I don't understand this. I wouldn't plan on connecting to a CP government and necessarily, but he wants to offer you offer. I mean, if
You know, so how do you get to it? My practice is if the parties do like to do CVs, all of them, if the parties don't, then usually it's hearsay, and I'm not going to do it. I will tell you that to me, it doesn't really matter. That most of the time when I see it, it's been investment in all cases. In other cases, the doctor has to say, but training is experience. So it's up to you.
Your Honor, I would make this offer that both sides can have their doctors' CVs reviewed in evidence in Rosenberg for them and Wellington. I'm willing to do that, so you don't have to do a serious stuff.
I respectfully state that Your Honor is trying to say that the witness that testified to what he did, if that makes counsel happy, then it's a reciprocal stipulation of the DACP.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, we're ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. All right, we're ready.
Wait a minute, they going to a sidebar already? This here's gotta be a sidebar. Come on, hurry up with the sidebar. Y'all literally just got started and y'all now want to go into a damn sidebar.
All right, welcome back everyone. Still on the now joined by our jury and alternate special disputes and chief. And submitted by another witness call.
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to call in Brent Mulligan as a
And rumor is Cardi B is projected to take the stand today. A cardigan and sweater vest. Okay. I don't know why you would wear a sweater vest in Los Angeles, but whatever.
Since 1995.
It's about 30 years.
Yes.
And early on in your, lost track there. Where did you go to undergraduate school?
To Purdue University for 2 years.
And where did you go to medical school?
At Yale Medical School.
And you did some work at Harvard as well?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I finished undergraduate in 2 years, and then I took a position at Harvard University as a graduate position in literature, German and English literature. So that was for 1 year. And then I went on to medical school at Yale.
And you're also a clinical associate professor at UCLA?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, so I've been, since 1995, I've been affiliated with UCLA. That means I'm a clinical professor there. So you teach the residents who are learning plastic surgery, and you teach the medical students at UCLA.
And we asked you to be here as an expert, is correct?
Yes,
And a treating doctor.
yes,
And in cases where you serve as a treating doctor, in cases that are litigated, then can you serve also as an expert?
yes.
And what is an expert witness?
Well, that's a good question. Well, I'm not 100% sure that there are different designations. There's a treating doctor, an expert, a retained expert, a non-retained expert. So that's the way I want to answer it.
Okay. In this case, were you forced to cancel patients when you could appear here in court case?
Yes.
And you left your home at 7:30 a.m. to get here at 3?
Or,
And you anticipate to be here at least till 11 a.m. or 12 noon?
yes,
And did you cancel all of your patients for today?
yes.
And in order to be here, how much money have you lost in income?
So I would estimate 20 to 30,000 in the procedures we would have performed, the patients we would have seen and scheduled.
And the reason you did that is because you want to help the patient, correct?
Yes.
And in order to be able to offset some of the loss, you're charging $2,000 an hour to be here as an expert witness.
That's correct.
And when you serve as an expert witness, do you tend to serve as an expert more for the plaintiff or for the defense, or is there some percentage you can tell us?
It's roughly 50-50. So I'm retained by defense firms and by plaintiff firms.
Is it your understanding that in this case, the defense chose not to designate an expert? Is that your understanding? Do you know of any other plastic surgeon that's rendered any opinion in this case besides yourself? Have you seen any medical reports or any type of documentation from a different plastic surgeon
No.
related to this case?
No.
When you serve as an expert witness, isn't it true that usually there's an opposing expert on the other side? And part of you are here. That's my prediction.
Much longer.
Did you review 85 pages of medical records of Imani that was prior to testifying today?
Yes.
And if you were to look at your exhibit book, let's say finally the one on your right, you can go to exhibit 1, -004.
I think these are two quarter, yeah.
surgery center, $11,000.
Yes.
Why do you charge these amounts for the treatment that you need for something else?
Well, her procedures were performed in an operating room, so we've got the operating room staff and sterility and it's done in a JACO joint commission surgery center.
Could you have done this outside of the surgery center?
You could have done it, but it wouldn't have been as sterile.
You would follow that type of practice.
I don't think that.
And in your review of the medical records, you also...
One of the most overpriced things I've ever seen be sold
Sorry.
repetitively is
all those records.
Sorry.
Yes.
If we can...
What does smoke-free really mean? It means the freedom to choose your rewards, like your perfect brew or your next big adventure. Keep finding yours and discover everything Zen Rewards has to offer. Warning, this product contains nicotine.
Your CV is 22 pages long, including your rate sheet, is that correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would ask that Exhibit 9 be admitted at that time. All right, so this is the first page of your CV, correct?
Yes.
And this explains all of your, you have two different offices. Why do you have two offices?
There's one in Beverly Hills and one in Santa Barbara. So,
And if you look through your CV, for example, on page 3, professional organizations, are there any that would be important for this case that you feel jurisdiction on?
well, I became board certified in general surgery and trauma surgery before doing my training in plastic surgery. So I then became board certified in plastic and reconstructive surgery. And I've done 2 additional fellowships, one in aesthetic surgery and one in microsurgery. So that's 10 years of residency after 40 years of medical school.
And on page 4, you have hospital affiliation. Can you tell us your affiliation with these 2 hospitals?
Yes, so I'm currently an attending at UCLA Medical Center. And previously I was an attending at Cedars-Sinai Hospital, but I gave up those privileges and now I'm exclusively at UCLA.
Then on page 5, you have some other information such as being a super doctor. What is a super doctor?
Well, super doctor is 5% of the doctors in a community are chosen by their peers. So I've been a super doctor for 15 years. And on various committees, with the Blue Ribbon Committee. So I'm proud of those awards.
Do you do any charity work?
I do.
Can you tell us a little bit about your charity work? Is there anything else about your education that you would like to add?
Well, I'm in clinical practice, so I'm a practicing plastic and reconstructive surgeon. But I teach at UCLA. So I'm a clinical professor at UCLA. That means just a teaching position.
You teach other medical residents?
Yes, medical residents, medical students, and usually plastic surgery residents. So they completed their training in the last few years of training. So those are the doctors that I spend most time with.
Now I want to go over this case and ask you some more information about this case. Do you remember seeing this patient, Maya, in your practice?
Yes.
And when she came to your office for medical treatment, did she provide a history?
Yes.
Did you use the history in your treatment and diagnosis of the patient?
Yes.
And what was the history that she gave?
Well, she mentioned that she had been, the left side of her face had been injured by fingernail scratches. And so that was the basic salient history. And then I looked at her look. And so in order to determine what I need to do to help her out, I had to diagnose her problem. So I wanted to see if there was hypersensitivity in the wound. Hypersensitivity means, for example, if you have a splinter underneath your skin, it may not show much, but you can feel the splinter under your skin because it's hypersensitive. So I noticed that she had a focus of hypersensitivity on her face. Now when I examined for that, I touch many areas and see if the patient's pain symptoms are always the same. In other words, if they always come from the same area. So that's how I made my diagnosis of the scar. The visible aspects of it and the hypersensitivity aspects of it.
If you could put an exhibit 4 for the experience with what you have in your app.
So what number was that? 4? No, 4.
In your medical evaluation of the patient, you saw her for the first time on November 4th, 2022.
Yes.
Were you advised by Imani Ellis or anyone else that Ms. Ellis was seen by a different plastic surgeon before you? Objection, false hearsay, exclamation. If you go to exhibit 4 dash 009, at the bottom, can you read for us what it says in handwriting?
Yes.
Are you aware that Ms. Imani Ellis saw Dr. Sher before you? Objection. Is it important to you when treating a patient if they've seen any prior doctor?
No, it's very important if they've done treatment. If they've done treatment, then I need to know what treatment they did.
Okay, so in order to do your work with this patient, Imani Ellis, you would need to know if any other doctor, such as a plastic surgeon, did any other work on Imani Ellis, correct?
Yes.
And when you
I'll be
asked
back in a
Ms.
second,
Imani
y'all.
Ellis, if she got treatment, did she tell you she saw a different doctor, Dr. John Sher? Objection. Do you know the Dr. Sher? Do you know?
Yes.
Are you aware that Dr. Sher passed away? Objection, that's not the process of the
That's like a total blank. Didn't verify.
For the patient such as Imani Ellis, the kind of injury that she sustained, is it true that if Imani Ellis came to you within a couple months after the incident that you would advise Imani Ellis to wait cut would become a scar? Like something that is that the proper course? Okay. For a patient like Imani Ellis who sustained a cut, how long should she wait before getting plastic surgery?
Well, you establish that there are different treatments. What type of cut was what he did, what was reflected in the scar, what he knows about the scar, establishing what patient we have.
Can you describe for us the scar that Imani Ellis had when he was on the drug before the 2022 for the first time?
Yes. She had vertically oriented, in other words, up and down scars. There were actually 2 of them, but one was more prominent, and it was hyperpigmented, and it was hypersensitive.
And isn't it true that it would take at least 1 year before the scar formed?
No, scars can form quickly. Sometimes it takes a long time for them to form.
Do you believe it was correct for Monty Ellis to leave before obtaining the medical treatment that she received in your office? And the type of medical treatment that you performed, isn't it true that during the pandemic, you started in April of 2022 for at least several months and years, and there was limited availability for patients to receive plastic surgery?
That's very true.
And your office was shut down for several months at least?
Well, I perform a lot of reconstructive surgery and emergency surgery, so my office was never shut down.
But if a patient needed to receive the type of treatment like the Monty Ellis received, and they contacted you in May of 2020, during the pandemic, you would not be able to work on them, but you probably suffered to it. Correct?
Compound, both circulation, maximum.
Isn't it true that a scar, such as in Monty Ellis's, when she came to you in 2022, the scar would basically never have gone away unless you performed some kind of medical treatment, correct? Construction legal, coastal circulation, maximum system. Can you tell us in your on 4-001 in the HP lines, can you read the report for life from your report?
In the which line of surgery?
When you treated Ms. Monty Ellis, did she tell you that she was assaulted and battered by Cardi B?
Yes.
Did she explain to you that Cardi B placed her long fingernails with sharp objects in her face?
That's what she told me, yes.
Did she state to you that her face was red hot after the incident?
Yes.
And can you tell us, when you personally examined Imani Ellis, did you see 3 lines on her face on the left side of her cheek?
Yes.
What is the significance of the 3 lines?
Well, it's typical for a fingernail injury when you have parallel lines going from the top to the bottom. So that's vertically going in, so up and down rather than horizontally. So typically that's
He's not a statistic. He's not a foster child. He's our son. And that is what he will always be. And we'll remind him of that every day.
I'm sorry. Oh.
All right, can you tell us, please, how many times you saw Imani Ellis for medical treatment?
I believe 3 total.
Can you just please go through the treatment that you gave her from the beginning to the end?
Yes. So there was an initial examination, and then I performed 2 procedures on it. So those were done in the operating room, and I did what's called medical hyperlesion, which is a procedure where you place local anesthesia underneath the skin to numb the skin, and then you do deep microneedling down and down approximately 2 millimeters. It does cause the patient to bleed, but the bleeding is very small because the needle is very small. So then we apply various creams to prevent infection. And then we see the patient back in approximately 4 to 6 weeks. So after that period of time, she returned. We had noticed some improvement in the hypersensitivity and some improvement in the hyperpigmentation. So I basically performed an identical procedure, also under local anesthesia. And after that, I believe I did not see her again. but I can't recall exactly.
Do you believe that your patient benefited from the medical treatment she received from you?
Yes.
And you're familiar with the billing procedures and charges from your office and other medical providers such as plastic surgeons and surgery centers and the like?
Yes.
Is it part of your practice to review the medical bills for your office and other types of medical providers?
Well, it's a part of my, so it's my function as a medical director of a surgery center, which I've been for 25 years, to know the fees that are charged at the various institutions like UCLA or Cedars or similar institutions in the community.
And when you examined Monty Ellis on November 4th of 2022, you performed an examination, you wrote a 4-page report, you reviewed medical records, medical bills, you spoke with the patient for how long?
Well, we maybe spent 45 minutes with her, but that includes the assistant coming and asking the questions. And then she transcribes the iPad, and I deliver the examination, record the results of my examination, and then correct anything on the iPad.
Okay, I'm back.
And you write the report of 4 pages, review all the medical records, review all the documents, see the patient, everything. That one day on November 4th of 22, you charge $1,500, right?
That's correct.
And if you were to make that same examination, go through all those steps today, you would actually be charging $2,500 per patient.
That's true.
The fees gone up because of inflation and cost of medical care.
Yeah, that's what it costs. That's it. All right.
And the medical procedures that you did on February 20th of 23 and March 20th of 23, the 2 procedures, each one you charge $2,500, is that correct?
That's correct.
And the same procedures today, what would you charge?
Well, with the approximate 6,500, if you notice in my initial report, that's the amount I quoted, but for some reason it was still at 2,500. So that was a error, but it is what it is.
So then, in fact, the $2,500 charge should have been $6,500?
Correct. Twice. That's what it costs special for surgery in the surgery center.
And approximately how long does it take from the time the patient comes into the office and is sent home for each of the 2 surgical procedures?
It's approximately 2 to 3 hours.
And the surgery center has to be booked for surgery time.
Yes.
So you have to prepare it, do the procedure, clean it, make sure it's good. How long does all that take? How much time do you book the surgery center for this money hours?
Well, the 2 to 3 hours will not include the technicians, surgical tech, preparing the equipment for the cleanup. That would just be the 2 or 3 hours would be the time from the time the patient arrives, fills out the paperwork, the consents are given, we can talk about the risks and benefits of the procedure. Put on topical anesthesia, let that work taken to the operating room, put on, and use local anesthesia with injections. We do the procedure, we watch her post-operatively to make sure she doesn't have any allergic reactions or trouble with her skin. And then we make sure she's dressed properly, has post-operative instructions, and then she's discharged.
And there's obviously different types of practice, right?
Yes.
There's lighter skin, darker skin, rough skin, soft skin. Can you just tell us a little bit of the difference in procedures that you do to the different types of skin?
Yes, so there's a grading scheme from 1 to 5, and 1 would be a patient with very delicate skin, for example, redneck, who might have up to its factor 5, which would be black or black skin. So depending on the coloration of the skin, that determines what lasers you can use, what procedures you can use in a safe path. Okay.
What, on that scale, what is Monty Ellis?
Fine.
Is there a difference, for example, if you take photographs of the patient with 5 on the Fitzpatrick scale, if you take photographs of their skin versus someone with a 1?
Yeah, in general, in one patients, the lesions are less visible just because of the coloration.
And when you examined Monty Ellis for the first time, on November 4th of 22, did you, with your own eyes and your equipment, you saw the scars?
Yes.
And how many scars did you see?
Well, I saw one main one, that's the one I recorded. But I saw other things that were, differences in the skin, differences in the pores, an adjacent straight line. I saw those things as well, but the main thing
Again,
was-
Cardi B is projected to take the stand today.
Is it your expert opinion that Monty Ellis sustained injuries to her left cheek pro-categories? What is your opinion as to where Monty Ellis obtained the scar on the left cheek?
Well, the most likely what was the size of the scar? Can you measure it? Yes, it was approximately 2 centimeters, that I believe that's the main scar.
Can you tell us approximately how long 2 centimeters? Inches?
Yes, so an inch is 2.5 centimeters, so it's a little less than an inch.
Centimeters, approximately 1 inch, or
About 2.5.
2.5 centimeters. Why was it, why was hypersensitivity important in this case?
Well, hypersensitivity is a very unpleasant sensation, and it's often associated with scars. So my job is not just to make the scar look better, but it was to reduce the hypersensitivity. That's in some respects the most important thing, is to reduce the hypersensitivity in the scar.
And when you examined the scar earlier, you testified that you were of the opinion that the scar came about from a fingernail cut from a protection reading. What is your expert opinion as to where the scar came from on the Monty Ellis direction?
Well, based on the direction of the scars, based on the fact that there were 2 to 3 scars that were parallel, and they were vertically oriented, in other words, up to down, based on the fact that the central scar was the deepest, based on the fact that the central scar started the highest. This is a pattern
This shit is so boring.
associated with fingernails, because the middle finger is longer than the index finger and the ring finger. So when the fingers are drawn down, the middle finger causes the deepest string, and the other scars cause.
The Fred Anderson family plane, now available at Fred Anderson Acura in Greenville. The family plane includes lights on roll changes.
Is that true? Do you agree with that?
Yes.
And what does it mean for the jury to explain
likely explanation. There are other explanations, but this is the most likely explanation.
Okay. In order to formulate your opinion, you reviewed medical records, correct?
I did. That wasn't as important as the.
Then of course, I was gonna go through the laundry list of what you did, but why don't you just tell me what did you do to formulate your expert opinion?
The number one thing I did was examine the patient. That's the number one. So I noticed where the scar was. I noticed what symptoms she was having. And that alone, sure, the medical records are helpful. You always review them just in case there's something that might be important that you would certain of somebody later. But the physical exam is the most important thing. That tells you what you need to do with the patient.
In how many cases over the last 30 years, how many patients have you treated for self-pattern practice?
Many hundreds.
And is there an emotional component that goes along with this type of injection? In your medical report on your social history, you say post-traumatic stress, anxiety, depression, headaches. Is there any reason why you feel that?
That's information that the patient gave us. It's not a diagnosis I made. It's the information that the patient gave us.
And future prognosis is about an anticipate a 50% improvement in scar. Was that, did the treatment you provide produce a 50% or more improvement?
I believe it did.
Was your patient happy with the medical treatment that she received?
Well, she expressed satisfaction with the procedure. I did very upfront with her that her likely outcome was that the scar would be better, but not gone.
And I just want to ask you a few more questions about the medical field. Your medical evaluation chart is $1,500 on November 4th of 2022. You reviewed that bill, correct?
Yes.
Do you believe that the medical treatments on November 4th of 2022 in your office were reasonable or medically necessary?
Yes.
Do you believe that the medical treatments in your office on November 4th of 2022 were related to this incident of February 24th, 2018?
Objection, calls for speculation, examination, outside the circumstances, investigation.
Aside from your $1,500 charge and your $2,500 charge times 2 for a total of $5,000, there was also a surgery center charge. You know surgery center, is that correct?
Yes.
And you reviewed those bills in the new surgery center?
Yes.
And you told us a little bit about your background. Are the charges of $5,500 for each time you treated Ronnie Ellis in the surgery center, are those reasonable?
Yes.
And medically necessary?
Yes.
Is that your medical service?
Yes.
And are the treatments at Neo Surgery Center related to this incident of 2014?
Yes.
And counsel, so and just so there's clarity on these other three bills, the $1,500 one and $5,000 for two procedures, you testified that those were reasonable and medically necessary, correct? an opinion as to whether Ms. Amani Ellis needs any future medical care in your office? In reviewing all the records of girls from the past that you see, diagnosing a patient and seeing a patient, do you have any opinion as to whether Ms. Amani Ellis needs future medical care? Do you plan to provide Ms. Amani Ellis any future medical care?
Yes. Not currently, but I'd be happy to do what she asks me. What would you be happy to do if she asks me? Probably more medical than I could do.
I'll see that you
Can you tell us a little bit about what future medical care you want to provide to this patient professional examination? Is there any basis for you to form an opinion that you need future medical care professional examination?
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
She's so headstrong.
And what did she get? What did she get?
She could eventually go into the mental examination. She can benefit from some more medical life.
How many more treatments? If she received one more procedure, what would the cost be for the entire process, which would
So it would be approximately $6,500 for the professional fee and then $9,500 for the surgery center fee.
does that mean that the surgery center cost has also gone up recently?
Yes.
So is that approximately $15,000?
Approximately.
And how much better do you believe the scar would be if she received that treatment resource? Do you have an opinion as to what benefit the treatment would give Ms. Amani Ellis if she had one more microneedling procedure in her office?
I would estimate she would have an additional 15 to 20% of the.
Is there any way to get to as close as you can to the members? Do you have an opinion of how Ms. Amani Ellis can make her score better than this 15 to 20%?
But she will never.
Do you have an opinion as to what type of, do you have an opinion as to the percentage of improvement that Ms. Amani Ellis can have if she has more than just one procedure in her office?
I can't say it. It would take another treatment to determine that. If she had no further benefit, then that would be the end of the treatment. If she had further benefit, then that would justify more treatment.
And then I want to ask you a little bit more about medical treatment on a weekly basis. Can you tell us what percentage of your practice do you treat patients on a weekly basis?
A very small percentage.
Is it less than 10%?
Probably, yes. I don't know the exact number, but probably.
Most of your patients pay out of pocket themselves out of they pay cash or credit card or credit card.
Yes, they pay, cash for, I have charity, so they pay.
When you treat a patient on a weekly basis, does that mean when a patient treats on a lien basis, isn't it true that the lien was created simply for your added protection? Does Ms. Amani Ellis owe you with her medical practice $17,500?
Yes.
And no matter what the outcome is in this case, she still owes you that money, right?
That's correct.
And do you agree to wait until this case is resolved before pursuing your medical records?
Yes.
Is that common practice when you treat patients on a daily basis?
Yes.
And medical, isn't it true that all types of different medical providers treat patients on a daily basis professionally? Have you seen other types of medical doctors treat patients on a daily basis?
Yes.
And you've seen surgery centers do that?
Yes.
Pain management doctors?
Yes.
Chiropractors?
Yes.
Dentists?
I've seen all types of doctors for certain jobs. Yes.
If you can go to exhibit number. Is this the most recent medical visit that Money Ellis received here? I'm sorry. Is this treatment at Dr. Norman's office the most recent medical treatment that you're aware of? That's not good.
So you're asking again, that he knows whether she saw another doctor after the visit?
In reviewing the medical records of those 85 pages, I want to establish that this is the last medical visit that the claimant has received. By reviewing medical records. Isn't it true that after July of 23 or 25, there are no further medical records that you reviewed? Did you take photographs of the patient when she first came in on November 4th of 22?
Well, I don't take photographs of my staff does.
In reviewing your medical records of bills and reports, did you confirm that Ms. Amani Ellis had photographs taken in your office when she came in on November 4th of 22?
Yes.
And each time she came back, for example, on February 20th of 23 and March 20th of 23, you also took photographs, correct?
Yes.
And because she's a grade 5 as far as the coloration of her skin, the photographs don't do much justice, meaning they don't really show much, correct? Isn't it true that when you saw Money Ellis on those 3 occasions, you could see the scar a lot better than in the photograph?
Actually, in the detailed photograph, you see it very well. So I remember during the deposition, the defense attorney showed me a very detailed picture. You can see everything.
If you could go to Exhibit 6 and Exhibit 5.
Okay.
There's a total of 12 photographs, right?
Yes.
These are the photographs that you took in your medical office?
Well, these are some low resolution copies of the photographs. Yes.
And it's hard to see the scar in these photographs, right?
Well, you can still see it, but it's, you don't see it.
practice to take photographs of your patients when they come in before the procedure?
Yes.
And why is that important?
Well, to document what their current status is, and also to document any improvement. And because memory is fallible, so if you have a photograph, I don't always offer the patients right away, sometimes months later, and then I'd like to have an actual photograph.
Your Honor, if I may show the doctor some of the photographs and exhibit 6 of the council. Will council suggest the photograph?
Well, whatever you want.
Can you look at the, word exhibit looking time?
Yeah.
Defendant exhibit 228. That's the public hearing. If you look at this photograph, color, is this a better photograph of the money on this slide?
Yes.
And this is a photograph that was taken in your office on November 4th of 22 by your office staff, correct?
Yes.
And you maintain your photographs in your office as part of your business records?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm requesting to show the witness on the exhibit 228 on the album so we can confirm the detail about this photograph. I'm going to use the pen, and if you can tell me where they saw.
Pointer there, I'll move it on and make it down.
Sure. There's a pointer there behind you. And if you could just show us where the scar is.
So this is a terrible picture, so I want everybody to know that's there. Okay, there's the main scar here. And this entire area here shows differences in the skin, sort of a general area that's very different from the rest of the skin. And there's a little linear mark here. And there's another one over here. So those are the three marks that I was on. This is the main scar down the center. This is another mark to the side, another mark on this side. So those are the scars. And this is the whole area that's affected. So it has a little bit different, the pores are a little different size. They're a little washed out and a little big loss of the normal regulations of skin, like being eggs.
And if we look at this photograph, can you tell that in the photograph, Monty Ellis is wearing some makeup?
Here she is. She's upstate, and here she's wearing some.
Okay. If on the 6 factor scale, hypersensitivity, is that associated with any pain?
Yes, it's a dysesthesia, meaning an abnormal sensation that causes us a dysesthesia.
The procedure that you did it take the hypersensitivity away?
It reduced, it did not take it away.
You know, roughly by what percent? When you say it reduced it, is that's your answer to pain calculation? Then I just want to ask you a little bit more about whether the type of injury from fingernails would cause a break in the skin or cause there to be blood. Do you have an opinion on that? Would you expect it in Ronnie Ellis, in the type of injury that you see here through suffered any blood loss? And patients with Fitzpatrick 5, do they have more of a tendency to, do their scars become keloids? Progression, that's not what you. Do you have experience with keloids?
Yes.
What is a keloid?
Building a schedule, managing employee availability, and time off. There's so much that can keep you stuck in the back instead of doing what you love. At When I Work, we've got your back office. So you can get back to running your business and get shit done.
Do you believe that Imani Ellis' scar was a keloid when you examined her on November 4th?
No.
Are there any future appointments for Ms. Imani Ellis to see you in the future?
I don't believe so.
Any further questions at this time?
All right, well, thank you for your putting ready. Back at 10:45. That's Kate, for anyone who's doing the jurors, I don't only need to read the circles at 10:45.
Okay, it looks like another sidebar. I'm gonna try to stay here till 4. After 4 o'clock, I'm done. Okay, and they're still in the soundbar. Not soundbar, sidebar, excuse me. Trying to read the chat. Okay, there's crime trials. Okay. I gotta do something about this dead air. Give me a minute, y'all. See what Pam DeLon intellect has to say.
And patients in Fitzpatrick 5, do they have more of a tendency to, do their scars become keloid? Do you have experience with keloid?
Yes.
What is
Keloid is an overgrowth scar tissue from the original scar.
you patients in Fitzpatrick 5 have more tendency to have their scar tissue keloid?
Yes.
Yeah, you can tell by Cardi's body language. Cardi's like, man, let me get the F up out of here, man.
Scar was a keloid when you examined her out.
Cardi B's body language is like, why the F am I here? And I really can't blame her.
Are there any future appointments for Ms. Bonnie Ellis to see you?
I don't believe so.
No further questions?
Oh, no.
Wait a minute, they going from a sidebar now into a break. Do y'all hear this? Y'all just had a sidebar. Oh God.
So much to say, so much to say.
What you gotta say,
First
Pam?
of all, this is not a very good direct examination of an expert. He did prepare a lot of the questions you're leading with your witness. You should be having open-ended questions. There are specific questions that you ask experts, and I think what she was trying to do was almost use this expert outside of the expertise, which is plastic surgery, which you have a woman for. But you're trying to somehow get in how it affected her and how she was injured and all of that is outside of the scope of what you're supposed to do as an expert. There was no leading up. The questions were all over the place, and you seemed more interested in how much was paid and how much money and how much they could get from it. That should have been.
Yeah, that lawyer was all over the place. Yeah.
And you need to first establish she came in, and what did she come in for? And when she was giving you the historical, because you come in and you give a history, in the history section, what did she say, if you recall, why she came in? She alleged, da 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 da. And when you examine her, is this the type of injury for someone so in your expertise, this type of, and then it didn't really get into, okay, he did eventually say it's from fracture, but they're gonna go in on the other side. When Cardi's attorneys come up, they're going to question as to whether, first of all, you saw 2, 3 years, 18, 19, 21, 2022 or 4 to 5 years. You saw her 4 to 5 years after this incident. Do you know that when this fracture occurred, could it been a scratch on the hand? Could have been, she also was in the car accident. Could it be that she scratched herself during the car accident? So honestly, after knowing all of these events that occurred, we really don't know when she was scratched. We don't know how she was scratched. We don't know who she was scratched. Did it look like it was a fresh injury? It's nothing to be able to debunk what they're about to do to him on cross-examination, is what I'm saying. So on direct, all of those anticipated questions, such as the timing, he was trying to say, basically, she went to another plastic surgeon and allegedly figure out whether you need plastic surgery, and this is what you did. That's what they were trying to establish, however it is work out. When you do your questions and you start preparing to do your direct examination, you need to also prepare for the objections that may come in. How are you going to get this evidence in that seems like hearsay? Now, when you do go into a doctor's office, there is an exception for information received for the sake of treatment. That is your exception to the hearsay. So whatever information she relayed to be properly treated should have been allowed to be thoroughly explained. However, all of those objections were fraudulent where he was objecting after almost every question. A lot of them were the same. He made it look like he just got out of school or something with how they were objecting. He had a lot that was overruled as well. But to have a judge say, counsel, why don't you ask about A, B, C, and D, and then move on to, like, almost teaching you how to direct your
Yeah, now that was sad. That the judge basically had to baby his ass.
And then you don't have to necessarily have to do live documentations. You can also do the Bene essay, which is on video. So you'll see a lot of video depositions, or they're depositions, but they're actually the trials. Like you can use them at trials, not depositions only. And you can have them on there. Usually those are only about an hour long with both sides. I just think he wasn't clear and concise enough. I think he made this. It made you think that the client's injuries aren't much. Because what he said, and this is also a very embarrassing moment, is to say,
Yeah, it was.
our pictures don't really depict the scars. You see more in person, is that right? And for him to say, no, pictures actually do depict, when you see the scars, when we did the deposition, the pictures that were provided.
I was barely able to see the scar.
They actually show pretty well, it's high resolution, you see it, like you ask the question, you don't answer. Did you not talk to your expert before you got on the scene to let them know what you're trying to elicit?
To me, it wasn't much of a scar, but it was one.
About him feeding the homeless and being a super doctor. And if it's anything like a super lawyer, I'm just thinking, I've been designated as rising star from super lawyers and all of that stuff. So some of that stuff is so prone today. Like, what the firm is, who people like, who they don't like, random people nominate you, you just get this email that you've been nominated and all of that or whatnot. If anything like that, I'm very proud of that. Like, whatever. Because it is, it's from your peers, and it's very repetitive. You see the same people get it over and over again every year. If it's anything like super lawyer, I'm just saying, I don't know about doctors because I'm not one, but I'm thinking about it after starting to plus $2,000 on Friday. But he spent more time on that, and it's clear he was an expert. Like, it is what it is. He's an expert in the field, and you get people within his field, and you get what you're supposed to elicit. I don't understand. I almost like it. Unless you just don't have too many medical doctors or anybody that's going to talk about this. I don't know. But let me see what y'all got to say over here. Anton says super lawyers based on being employees and not that you usually need something. It's usually bigger law firms. It was a big thing, I think, when I got it because I put solo for it. But usually it's your peers, you get an email, hey, it's good time again. Now I need your favorite lawyer. And all of that, and if you see all your friends, some of them say, like if it's anything like that, and it's not like, oh, we just give you the best of the best, you know what I'm saying, not being money, it's really about popularity of your peers. Anyway, Shantae said that Candy was dealer close, period. I don't understand how she had makeup on her face and you're going to take pictures of the car. So did she have cover up on her face? Is that what they're alleging? She had on foundation? Peachy Bama says this type of ridiculous. Pink 103 said, I want to see the pictures beforehand if that if she could have scratched herself yesterday. You told us, well, what kind of BS is this? We don't, those pictures were taken in 2022, 2023, and it looks like it was, I was somebody who was before the surgery. I don't think it was after the surgery, because of course you should take it before because you want to look to see what your progress is after the surgery. I don't know. And like someone said, I can go to a plastic surgeon and say, there's a lot of those, areas that I want to give things and they just don't do it. But was it a necessity? Was it something that was a necessity? Andrew said basically Cardi told her about the bottle of doctor. Yes, I'm about to say that because they about to give a amount of his money. Resilient Red says some of y'all need to be getting paid for the time you can tell me what I'm getting out of the time. I'm just unproductive. Yes, so if you're at work, don't let this distract you, okay? Sunflowers, the youth and child athlete, and red. Would have smooth that skin out. I don't know, 5 I don't know what I should put on that. Down and said, no, I'm picking you. The first thing I put after being responsible. She said she didn't plan on doing, that's why. How deep was the sweat? I don't even think they got into that. I mean, I did take a little break because I was trying to help my daughter with her laptop, but I don't think they got into like, they talked about how long it was. But how deep was it that it necessitated any type of surgery? So they're saying it was scars next to it. It was a scar. No, it's not really scar. Swabble. Thank you so much for the cover up, okay? It's not swabble. Don't face the plunk over here. I got my little blemishes. Marcy said Cardi had the history of attacking people. I understand that, but that doesn't mean that she gets this time. And I don't think there is a argument about whether there was an altercation. It was who started the altercation, who swung on who first, whether it was self-defense. I think those are the issues that are in this case. Sarah said, if a celebrity scratch me, I'm taking pictures of it to all my friends. I don't know, they mentioned people away, but I don't know, I didn't see it. If you have a large aloe vera plant, I'm about to retire. I don't think so. Can you send me a picture? I got bad eczema. You see on my hand. You know what I'm saying? I need that. I need some aloe vera. That's what I used to use when I was a kid. Get it straight out the plant. I need to get back to the basics because these doctors are had to get them done. I still think they should call in a professional nail tech to see what happens to the nails if you hit someone on that hard with 3-inch nails. Well, shoot, scratch. Well, I guess if you.
Okay, they back.
I don't want to back and forth on parking discussion. That way, I don't
Sorry to err on my part.
That's right.
We do work the grounds.
Yes. Brief legal plans.
The clock is set on that. So my client is very serious. We're not very.
Show my witnesses. Any issue with that? I don't have an issue. All right. You got 20 to 30 minutes to prosecute.
They have a sidewalk first. So it's supposed to be 30 minutes across, and then I guess the mother or grandmother is going to go out of order, and that's why I said when they were saying that Cardi's supposed to testify, I think they're just putting it on there. But Cardi, she's not gonna, I don't think she's gonna testify, I don't think she's going to, go back. She's not, she will probably testify in her own case and she, but she's not going to testify today. Like, this is the plaintiff's case and she will do it on her as the defense. And no, I don't think it's gonna wrap up today because, well, I don't know. The defense is gonna put on their case card, she's supposed to testify. I don't see it lasting as long as people are trying to say it's probably going to last. Who knows? I don't know who else he got up his sleeve. We shall see, because he's the plaintiff's case to put on their case right now. And Shanti said, I don't think she should have to testify in this case. Well, we need somebody to go against what she said, to say, this isn't a criminal case. You know what I'm saying? So it's a bit different on the burden of proof and the standard of what you have to prove. So from the civil aspect, you're going to have to, are they going to believe Cardi's story? Right now, you have her attorney telling the story. What we say is not evidence. So who is going to put on the evidence that the lady hit her first, or that she was protecting herself when she was pregnant? Who's going to put that? Who else can put that on but her? Nobody else is out there. You think people want to see a Cardi pregnant? She's supposed to be pregnant again? Is that what's going on? No, I don't think so. I'm an old person. You think she'll win without her testimony? Well, they'll probably say that they haven't. They'll try to get the judge to render a no cause after they put on their entire case and choose what. Because it's probably, I don't know, we have to see what their evidence is. We're not going to do it on some thing. They're talking about what
Dr. Morgan, and so you're invited to start. All right.
Evaluation. In 2018. The first time we saw Lincoln, this time,
This is very soft.
the first time that you saw it, like, 4 years later, in November.
first time of being signed. Correct.
Please open the complaint under
How how did you spell?
everything on the first page of this document was reported to you and your staff by the cells. Is that correct?
Yes. Okay.
So for example, you're not diagnosing the cells with headaches or
Correct.
also according to this plaintiff told you or your staff that the scar was caused by another individual placing their long fingernails with sharp objects in her face. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you ask Ms. Ellis about other possible causes of this crime?
No.
At the time of your evaluation, were you aware that Ms. Ellis had been in a car accident?
I'm not sure if I knew that. I don't think I knew that.
At the time of your evaluation, did you know what Ms. Ellis was doing for a living after she was terminated from the post as a speaker?
No.
Do you recall answering my questions in the deposition in this case?
Yes.
You were under oath to tell the truth. Correct?
Correct.
Do you recall testifying at your deposition that, based on your examination, the most plausible explanation of this scar is that a right-handed person struck downward on this left cheek, both the index finger and the
Objection dismissed. Yes, roughly. I still believe.
She left-handed or something?
In your previous answer, you testified once, well, what your testimony was in the deposition. That was your exact testimony.
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember the transcript because I can't remember exactly what it was.
And if I gave the transcript, it would refresh the recollection. Please read line 52 to 55.
76 on 9, page 775.
Okay.
Do I have that number?
It'll appear up the class.
I understand the question.
Who was putting their throat in the mic like that? Yeah, you can tell by Cardi B's body language. She ready to damn go.
Most logical communication looks like fingernails. Striking it down on the record. As was plausible example or plausible explanation for the position of the star of the stars, or the higher position of the right star, like it would be by a right-handed person whose location is left side of their face, which is the right side of their observation. Starting at the top, they both start at the right level with one needed index finger. The middle finger runs a little deeper and wider, would be on the middle finger. And then the index finger continues on down further than the middle finger stretch. So that would be the most plausible explanation would be given the appearance of the stars lining the stars. That's my opinion.
They gotta do something about that dang on audio.
The only treatment that you provided was Alice was 2 sessions of brain.
Yes.
That was a 20 time.
I have to check out the dates, but I believe so.
My treatment involves the use of a device that looks
Well, pins don't look that way. It has a head on it that reciprocates. It has a motor in it, so it's not really like a pen. Yeah, you will lift your hands.
And during each of those 90-minute sessions, that provides 5 times across 2 centimeter area.
Well, I also did areas to the periphery of that as well. So there was as I explained to you in the deposition, it showed that on the photograph, there's a larger area of changes of the skin, which I would characterize as scarring. So we did those areas as well. So it wasn't just on the main scar, it was also on that area in the periphery of that scar.
Not my really assuming contact.
No. No.
And the actual process of moving the microphone parts across the scar, took you no more than
Yeah, it's probably a little more, but roughly that.
You know, surgery center is your business, is that correct?
That's correct.
You're the sole owner.
The sole owner, yes.
And looking back, this is what I years to one.
I'm gonna tell you that coffee, look at that. That's in this fall. Our soul.
And what? Oh, yes, that's the other. No. $17,500.
Yes.
I believe you testified earlier that $1,500 for that amount was for the initial application. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That leaves a combined total of $16,000. Correct.
Yes.
That's $8,000.
Well, it was a surgery, done at a surgery center with surgery staff, so it wasn't really a micro-needling session, it was a surgery.
Correct. Your fee was $8,000. Combined total was $8,000 per night.
Do you mean just for the microneedling or for the preparation of the patient and the post-operative care of the patient? I'm not, I just don't understand the question.
Are you required to be a board certified plastic surgeon?
What kind of microneedling?
You can tell by Cardi B's violence. Cardi B's like, for the love of God, can y'all hurry the H-E-double-L up? I pause this for a second. I had to sit and pause this for a second. Cardi B's body language is doing a lot of talking. I mean, a lot of talking. Is what Cardi B's body language is doing. Let's get back into it.
You also testified in your deposition that there's no particular formula that you use to calculate the $16,000 fee. Correct?
Well, it's based on my experience as a medical director for 25 years of what the usual customary fees are for these procedures. So it's not just randomly chosen.
It's a testimony that what you charge is for the customer.
Yes.
That should have came out in the
You
rest.
also testified earlier that it's making was charged for your services on a weekly basis.
That's correct.
On a weekly basis, that means that maybe for this case, because you were not making the right to collect your fees.
Well, I don't believe that's what happens. I believe the patient owes the money for the services rendered, regardless of the outcome of the case. So it's not just if the patient wins, it's regardless of the outcome of the case.
Bottom line, the doctor said, run me my money.
Ms. Ellis, you come to your office as a patient who has lawsuit. Have the exact same procedure done. Take a look at that. Would you have charged last month?
Well, there were many aspects of her presentation that would not be found in a typical cash pay patient. For example, the hypersensitivity of her injury and the nature of her scarring, those wouldn't be typically found in a cash pay patient.
Right.
So how can I equate fees between someone who comes in for cosmetic purposes?
Okay, I have answered the question. Did you answer that, or did I miss it? Make them answer the question.
Would have come in that the safety degrees and not the more responsible speaking after expenses.
You mean pay cash or pay cash 3 years later? On the spot? Yes, it would probably have a discount of approximately 20%.
So it was about 20% more.
Yes.
They charge you.
Sorry.
You need to talk, yeah, you gotta talk to that thing. I wish the other guy would get this file. This wasn't exciting.
Dr. Mulligan, you specified the injury being caused by right-handed person or left-handed person. This is, could this injury have been caused by a left-handed person? I would acknowledge the question. In this case, the defendant is a left-handed person.
I'm gonna go back to Lauren Prime, the Nets breaker sideboard that they have.
Counsel will ask you whether this injury was caused by a right-handed person.
Yes.
Did counsel ask you after testimony in the deposition at the beginning of March 27th of 2025?
Yes.
And during that testimony, counsel asked you to show you a small segment of your deposition where you said that this injury was caused by a right-handed person. You remember saying that in your deposition?
I said most likely.
The fact that the person is most likely. For example, I'm left-handed. If I take my right hand and scratch something, is that possible? When you said right-handed person, did you mean that the injury in your opinion as an expert was caused by the right hand?
No.
What did you mean?
Well, if it's on the left side of the face, the most likely explanation is that it was done by the right hand of the perpetrator. One defendant. And just based on the positioning of one person, assuming one person was in front of him.
And if you look at the perpetrator there, or, I'm sorry, if you look at the defendant, he has two hands. Take a look, doesn't she? Does the defendant have two hands?
What the hell are you talking about? Does the defendant have two hands? The hell's wrong with y'all?
Cardi B, I will represent you as left-handed. In your testimony at the deposition, if you were to take that the way that they wanted you to take that, it would be impossible for Cardi B to have caused this injury. However, the question is this: isn't it true that Cardi B, who's left-handed, could have used her right hand to scratch Monty Ellis on the day of the incident?
Wait a minute, Cardi B's left-handed? I didn't know that shit.
When you testify that it happened by a right-handed person, did you mean that the person actually right the right hand?
So it was most likely caused by that was say caused.
When you said most likely caused, did you mean it was caused by someone using their right hand, or the fact that they right?
Bro, even the court reporter is looking at him like, what the fuck is you talking about?
It's just the left side of the face and scratch.
So the right hand.
And you can tell this doctor is annoyed with with this questioning.
unless the person was standing
He
aside,
is annoyed as
saying, okay,
fuck.
I don't know.
And in this case, the defendant could have used both of her hands to scratch him on the outside.
Right, no, it's not. So he's bringing too much attention to this, making it seem like it's important. Too much attention. You could have just addressed it.
There's a counsel asking about like reviewing the fact that it takes 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute. That is the actual time that you're working on the patient's face. You're doing that procedure forever.
Well, not really. Yes, not really at all, because you can't just walk up to somebody and stick a needle in their face. You have to prep them. Make sure their equipment is there. You have to make sure that the person is calm, that they're numb, that they be numb by topical adhesion, that they be numb by a needle with lidocaine in it, and the patient is comfortable. They're adequately protected against lumps and bumps on the exam room chair. So you can't just walk up to somebody and cut their face. You have to do all this preparation. That's part of the surgery. And as part of the surgery, you have to do the surgery to make sure they don't have an allergic reaction, or they don't have, lumps resulting, or a burn injury that's occurred. All those are part of the surgery, not just walking up and cutting someone in the face. Yes, the actual pressing of the button might take 3 minutes, but without the proper preparation or the proper follow-up, it's not a surgery.
This is saw the patient 2 times on February 20th, 23, and March 20th, 23. You performed surgery on this patient, right?
Yes.
This was not an outpatient medical work. Was this an outpatient? This was an outpatient surgery, correct?
So the surgery means that you're in an operating room with a certain level of accreditation, and you have a scrub technician, and you have a registered nurse, and you have a doctor. So those are necessary for the procedure to perform as it is. And that's very different from doing a cosmetic microneedling, where the depth is 1/2 of a millimeter, not 2 millimeters. So 1/2 of a millimeter doesn't break the skin, doesn't draw blood. But when it's 2 millimeters, that's as deep as the microneedle goes. That goes through the dermis and causes blood. So that's very different than a cosmetic microneedling. It's totally different. And it's done in a different setting. So you can't confuse it. They may be called microneedling, but they're very different. One is a surgery, one is an outpatient procedure done for cosmetic purposes.
Thank you, Empire, for this week that I have used this.
For the two, you can look at your exhibit for
Yes.
4-005 or 4-006. That's a 2-page document, which is comfort note.
You're talking about like the microneedling, like what I got on my eyebrows?
Yes.
What are they talking about?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. What do they mean?
Right. For other types of surgeries, such as breast augmentation or those surgeries.
What are you talking about? Breast augmentation.
And back to the 3-minute question that you were asking earlier. From the 3 minutes, if we were to subtract 3 minutes out of the whole procedure, start to finish, how much time would elapse in my anesthesia office?
Estimated at 2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours?
Yes.
And you were required to
use topical anesthesia first and then local anesthesia.
The reason you charge 20% more for patients that are treated on a weekly basis is that because it's actually required pain in it.
Yes, 3 years, up to 3 years.
And in this case, not only have you had to wait for 3 years, you also have to suffer the consequences of the fact that you bill $4,000 less for a term or just I'm sued, correct? Earlier, you testified that your bills are $2,500 and your bill at $6,500.
That's my fault. That's my
And if procedure is going to be done again, or this time, the same procedure, it wouldn't be 6,500, 2,500. And at this point, this money does will be $17,500 for the 2 surgeries in the office. That should not be
I believe so.
Thank you. One more. Thank you, Tim Fires, and thank you for your hard work. You're the one that brings the case to my attention. And that's how I said that happy birthday. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Like, shoot, it's been about 2-3 hours. I got my $6,000 testifying. So, hyper, what did you say about hyper? It's supposed to be do it in the dermatology office, and it's like for they're spending way too much time on why you charge the amount and all of that, as opposed to trying to show that, talk about this stuff. Okay, Brittany said, Michael is in this hyperphysical Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Billion Red said the picture shown with years after the election saying, why haven't her seen Ruthie I have people extending after that.
Yeah, this prosecutor dragging this
The
out.
guy that was on the lead counsel, he's the one that did the opening statements and he cross-examined Ms. Ellis. I thought he would be cross-examining this doctor. I would have expected it, but apparently they just felt like maybe they didn't need to pull out the big gun. He was the one doing all the objections. A lot of times the judge makes the person that actually does the cross-examination do the objections. That's why it kind of threw me off, but apparently the judge is different. Iver 8 number 7 said Michael usually causes little abrasions in the hospital itself and do a collagen. So when you think of a scar, it will break down the scar tissue and do it.
This guy here look like he want to bust out laughing a little bit.
Internet business that Cardi doesn't get to put her hands on the people, because I'm sure internet business is there. He knows that that's exactly what happened. Because you were there, I know. You didn't call as a witness, I'm sure some of these eyewitness to the truth. Clearly not the doctor's first grade. No, if he's an expert, he's probably been qualified as an expert before. Yeah, so when you do go to doctors, they do charge for everything. And if you have, that's why when you come to surgeons, to get their own surgical facility, because otherwise you have to pay those rents at surgical facility at a hospital. And you do charged for everything. So if you, the vial of medication you use, the needle, probably blood pressure. Oh, so if witness
Be
was
back in a
interested
second.
on somebody on camera before, I mean, does it every time somebody says that? Is that what our computer technique is?
Overlap, so I'm trying to keep my,
Yeah, yeah.
What's with this jump squad?
It's on the jury question.
I'm back. Lord.
You offered a few minutes to the approximate age on the scar on the
See what I'm saying?
It's impossible to know because after the rest of the year, the stars mature. So it really won't change very much until you make a mistake.
You use the term medical necessity, or I think it was asked during the question. What is your definition of medical necessity?
Something is, if the patient is likely to derive a benefit from the procedure, then you can say there is medical necessity. They're likely to derive a benefit.
Generally, can a scar form without breaking the skin?
Yes, start and formed by scrapes, or by breaking the skin. It definitely can occur in superficial scratches.
So the question asks some follow-up with regard to that. You can describe how a scar can, or what the difference is between an abrasion and actually breaking the skin.
So the skin has basically the epidermis, which is the recycling layer, then the dermis, which is the thick layer. Most of the blood supply is in the subdermal plexus, just below the dermis. That's where the main blood supply is. So the bleeding typically happens most when that dermis is completely breached. So a laceration that went all the way through the epidermis, dermis down to the subdermal plexus, that would cause a lot of bleeding. But for example, when we harvest skin graft, for example, in a burn patient, we go through the dermis. So we take a thin piece of the dermis, and it's a bloodless plane, meaning there's not a lot of bleeding when you go through the superficial dermis. But yet, we know that people who donate have a donor area for burns, that area is scar soon, even though the dermis is never perfect. So yes, a minimal dermal injury may not bleed, but can produce scar.
I think you identified a scratch and with some additional scratches on the cheek, is that correct?
Yes.
And is it your opinion that all of the scratches came from fingernails?
Well, that's the most likely scenario given the patient's history. So there have been a dwarf with sharp toes who jumped up. Possible, not likely, but it could have been most likely fingernails. But there are many other things that would be pretty linear on arms. But just given the patient's history, that is the most likely scenario.
And I'm going to rephrase this question. Is it fair to say that when you agree to treat unalleed, you're deferring payment for the resolution of the pending litigation?
Yes. So we defer all patient paying the bill until it takes us out.
So it's fair to say that the picture for you is will mean that the patient is responsible regardless of the outcome of the condition.
Yes, the patient is responsible for the bill.
Um,
They definitely are.
Evidence that the scar on the arms is record in all except for the lives.
Yeah, that's all part of what happened.
I agree with all of
I don't have.
One way or the other, that's fine though.
Which one is it?
Thank you.
Thank goodness, thank you, doctor. Yeah, the jury sounds like they wanna know, like, is it caused by something or not just have a person. You guys, please hit the like button. Thank you. Can I try you with first?
We're getting a new person up on the stand. That we're done with the doctor.
Hey, see what Mother Ellis has said. So, oh, yeah, good, good.
Good morning. Yes, I am. I have a total of 5 kids. Mine is nothing. She been with me from the time never. 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 I'm a licensed phlebotomist, currently working for Kent Medicine and USC. Phlebotomist is a Greek word meaning to extract blood from the vein via tube to vein. I work in Kent USC School of Medicine. It's an outpatient. Yes. Yes, I am.
I was not, of course.
Misunderstanding about daughter's profession. What was her profession? Was money a security guard?
Yes, she was. Can you repeat the question, please? Yes, she was. I was there when she went on her interview, not physically there, but she did notify me of the interview, and she notified me of her title.
Was her plan to continue in security and monitoring?
That's what she knows, not what she knows.
Do you know why he does being a police officer? Did you notice some changes in the money Ellis after this incident of February 24th?
Yes, I did. I noticed changes in terms of a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, and just her general ability to change dramatically.
Were you advised? Did you notice after the incident that the money Ellis has sparked?
I did.
Where was this?
Soil was located on the other side of the fence.
After she left her home when she was 19, when the incident occurred, she was approximately 25 years old, correct?
She was, yes.
So in those 6 years where she didn't live with you full time, how far away was she and did you see her on a regular basis?
I would see her probably 2 to 3 times a week. Visit frequently.
And in those 25 years, did Miss Money Ellis ever, to your knowledge, sustain a scar on her left anywhere?
Yes, she did sustain that scar. I visibly saw it myself.
So I understand my question. Aside from these, I guess the question that I want to know, do you have knowledge of Miss Money Ellis' daughter sustaining the scar somewhere? Something else outside of
No.
How do you know that the scars in your daughter's face was
She did notify me and call me right after the incident, telling me that she had been scratched in the face and spit on.
How long after the incident did you notice your daughter?
She actually came to visit me, I believe later that day. She was hysterical, upset, crying, upset throughout the whole situation.
Was your daughter a fan of Cardi B?
Absolutely.
Were you a fan of Cardi B before this incident?
Yes, I was.
Were you a fan of Cardi B? When you said that your daughter was slid on, your daughter told you that
Dang, y'all ain't seen one?
Aside from, sorry, were you aware of your daughter in the car accident? Were you advised that your daughter had a car accident in 2021? Do you know if your daughter sustained injuries in the car accident?
Okay, this is a security guard's moment. I was trying to figure out who the hell is this damn woman?
Earlier, you testified that your daughter had contact with you after the incident. Did she call you and tell you?
She did.
The incident occurred around 1:30 and how long after the incident?
I would say about 30 minutes after. Kind of figure that amount.
How did you come up with 30 minutes?
Based on what you have to finish call, it was like a little bit after, right away after you. How do you know I said, oh, she was hysterically crying, upset, just overall just very get out. She was upset.
No, as long as they think Cardi ain't getting on stand today. As long as they didn't take it.
They
So we're clear from that.
Ellen was
Your
there.
daughter is now 32,
Correct.
these 32 years. Seeing your daughter fight.
We heard that. Not one fight, not even in school.
Consider her a piece of you.
Absolutely. Mommy is a very compassionate person. I believe that she has very good, she has very good character in terms of having a sense of sensitivity to others and how they feel.
Do you know what money was does at the time now? Do you remember seeing money was about her?
No, not really.
She's currently someone in the
Some of his questions that this guy is asking are pointless as hell. They're pointless.
Earlier, you testified that money was a student
We told them. All of it. It's good.
Have you ever seen Cardi B before today?
On television, 2 movies now. Yes.
You saw her.
Did she have long nails?
Cardi always had long nails. How do you not know Cardi B always has long nails? What the hell's wrong with y'all?
Yes.
Y'all asking some of the stupidest shit right now.
Sure.
You saw Cardi B share that.
You know, they're always very 2 to 3 inches.
You see now.
Correct. asked if you're aware.
Are you aware that your honor, this is your daughter of public funds, outline, or responded to objections?
What's the document, sir?
I was not involved in that conversation, so no, I was not aware of that.
And you aware that in the report, 2 days after the incident, she instead claimed that the party had trashed your daughter's notes?
Again, I was not a part of that conversation, or email or text, so I do not know.
So say no.
All right, thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Bye, man. You didn't provide nothing much to the case. Bye.
Okay.
That was quick, painless. So when it comes to family members, the credibility of it because they're family members, oftentimes are looked upon with a little bit more skepticism because of course her mother's going to say she's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But that was their point of pointing out that you know that she was cussing and fussing and she admitted that she was, even though you say your daughter is the most peaceable person next to Mother Teresa. So they just got their little 2, 3, their little 1, 2, and they got her up off the stand to say with her, but she only knows about what she allegedly saw and what she heard on book. Yeah, this must be the grandma that was the mother.
For your first last name for the record. Can we take a seat before we start?
She's so cute.
First you had mama up there. Now you got grandma getting on up there. Oh, wait a minute. Grandma look white. Man, she mixed. Huh?
You are,
Right.
on how many, what type of basis you receive money from us over the last week?
She tries to come see me every month. Unless business takes her other elsewhere. She's there almost every month.
Well, toward in 1992, you saw her regularly?
I saw her every week. Every week. In fact, when she came home from the hospital, she came to me. Her mother was sick. She was sick for a while, but she came to me every week with her and her big sister. Sometimes we she asked or whatever. Yeah. She always tries to keep things calm. She has 5 brothers and sisters. She's trying to always to keep it. She's the eldest, you know, so.
But you have thoughts on that.
Yeah. With his what?
Do you know how Marty Ellis got described? Were you aware that Marty Ellis was assaulted, battered, or hit? Oh, you knew Marty Ellis was ever assaulted?
Yes, I think she called me almost after it.
Thought her mama and grandmother at the same time.
But there's something that changed. Did you notice a change in Marty Ellis at some point in her life?
Well, after the
Guess what I think? I think Grandma
She was depressed.
wants to go home and wants her cut. That's what I think.
She liked Cardi before the incident, and she was shocked that she was reacting that way. And she just was depressed, and every time she relived it, listening to our first music on the radio, and it was kind of, she couldn't really avoid it, so it affected her because she couldn't make it right.
You said there's still this when approximately
It was right after my birthday, but it was, I don't know what the year was, but it was long time.
Pam gonna post in her chat. Don't rewind. You didn't miss much. Oh my goodness.
February 16th.
I told you this happened.
Yeah, that sounds pretty clear. I don't know, he said 2018. Yeah, all right.
You noticed the change in your granddaughter after 2018?
Yeah,
Or after your birthday?
yeah.
Did you see the scar to the Monty Ellis's face after February 24th?
Pam? Yeah, I did. And she was, well, she's a pretty girl. She wants to maintain her face, and it was like she felt
I'll be back in a second.
damaged her face, and she was trying to keep that right.
Let's get over 1992 to February 24th, 2018. In that time period, did Monty Ellis turn out ever sustain a scar from any brother? Did you ever see a scar during that
Never.
period? And after this incident of February 24th, 2018, you with your own eyes saw the scar?
So,
And when she got plastic surgery with Dr. Mo, did
oh,
yes.
he was actually a very good surgeon. He covered it very well.
And it's still present now, a little bit.
Very slightly, but she's like, yeah, if I can.
And I apologize for objecting. It's one of the things that I have to do in order to
Yes, sir.
whatever. Thank you, I appreciate it. And you know, the evidence to prove her, she's a grandmother, right?
She either has it or she doesn't. I mean, we either see it or we don't.
You know, she was born as a grandmother. And
Yes, but, yes.
sometimes it's hard to go for someone says, you can just work
fired after the alleged dismissal of objection in this case was you knew that she was a security guard, right? And didn't were you aware she was fired? Objection of all discretion. You should answer the question. Were you aware that she was fired as a security guard?
It was my understanding she was told that she couldn't be fired. By her.
Were you aware that
Yes,
at the time, 2 days after the incident, she apologized to the security guard for her own misconduct that day?
because she's a person that tries to be sure everything is straightened out, but she apologized for what she saw as a disturbance, I think.
Were you aware that she apologized to the security company that employed her for her own misconduct? That's in false respect. Did she ever tell you? Did she ever tell you that she told the company that employed her that party to match her on her nose, not her cheek? Objection was stated. She didn't tell you that, did she?
But
She
it's
didn't tell you
just
that.
that she was like, her finger was all over her face. So I mean, it landed everywhere.
You know, it's not hard to say.
I'm not sure.
You never saw him scar on her nose.
I don't know. Okay, Brian.
She does, it's scar on her nose. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. And, I think that's all the questions that I was thinking.
That's what we're being good. Let it go. Grandma did her thing for her granddaughter. No reason to correct. Let it go.
Your granddaughter expressed that when her 3-inch really fingernails into her face.
I told
Are
her.
you aware
That's up.
in the incident report which counsel represent your granddaughter apologized? Are you aware that she apologized for being belittled?
I'm sorry. Yes.
Are you aware that she apologized for being called?
I don't know what is that. But she was in it.
Right.
You know, things about the statement of different words that were used against your granddaughter. Are you aware that your granddaughter was called the N-word?
Didn't I tell you all you should have left it alone? I saw all of this. Grandma did what she could do. She
If
did that.
your granddaughter apologized,
Let it go,
would
bro.
she have been apologizing for her part of the
Dude, I'm with Pam on this one. Let it go.
parts? And people are responsible for their side of
Counsel. Counsel. Open yourself to like a rope. Free grandma. I think grandma did real well with the question.
I like that.
I think that grandma, I mean, she did what she could do with what she had. I think she answered those questions better and more persuasively as far as, oh yeah, she had, I mean, if she was pointing in her face, it would have went all over her face. So it could have just, if she said it scratched her nose, then then, the attorney for Cardi did the right thing because of her being elderly and how she comes across real sweet and funny. He can't really come at her like that without looking at her.
You know, they talked about night. Did she tell you how long ago on that phone call? Did she tell you how long prior to the call did it happen? Or in other words, you could say, did this just happened or it happened earlier?
She called me right after.
Right after?
The end, she knew it. She was there crying.
Oh. Then you called them.
During that call, telling me that I'm kind of pleased. She tell you what, follow that.
So the question was about the night. We're not going to be able to.
Right, I do, we love this.
She called you the same day.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
And she remembers about her being she got she doesn't even remember her mom. That's the thing, now you now you're
Don't remember. Took me a long time to remember the first new one.
Okay. All right, you can sit down.
that's kind of
Okay, this is the lunch break.
Alright, there we have it. So we have the doctor that came on, that was the second witness for the
And with that being
Dr.
said,
Greg
I'm
Monroe.
done on my end. Peace.
That was a circus.